Hi, this is Tim Jones for Knowing Japan, and today I want to talk to you about uh, trains and buses and getting around Japan. Japan probably has one of the best transportation systems in the world as far as trains go. And there are several videos out there who say, don't buy a Japan Rail Pass. We're going to get to that in just a little while. But first, I'd like to show you this is a map of all the train lines in the Kanto, well, not the Kanto, but Tokyo and surrounding areas. Now, one look at this and you're going, oh my God, because it's quite complicated, but really it's actually very, very easy. If you know where you're going, you can easily find it on the map. Also, each train line, if you notice, is color coded. So there's one particular train line, which is here, that basically circles the inner area of Tokyo. It's called Yamanote Line, and it's green. And you can just circle the entire core of the city. Now, there are several train lines, and some of these train lines, like Tokaido Line, which goes out this way, which is this orange line here. It goes from Tokyo, it goes all the way, you can go all the way to Kyoto. I wouldn't recommend it on the regular train. You'd want to take the bullet train, or in Japan, if you say the bullet train, people will not know what you're talking about. Say Shinkansen. Shinkansen is the train that you take. And what I'm going to do later at the end of this video, I am going to display the names of cities plus the Japanese characters, what they call the kanji, the Chinese characters, so if you go to a station and they have no English, you can use this video to help you find the station you're going to. Most of the big train stations will have English signs, so you really don't have to worry too much. There are some smaller stations and private railway lines that have no English, but they're pretty rare now. 30 years ago, when I came to Japan, Shinjuku Station, which is right here, which is in Tokyo, had no English whatsoever. And it is, to give you an idea how busy this station is, about 3 to 5 million people a day go through Shinjuku Station. So this is a really, really busy station, and there are about 23 different train lines going through Shinjuku. So it can be pretty intimidating when you first see it, but once you know your way around and you know what you're looking for, if you know the train line, it's very easy to find. Also, I have here, this is also the subway system in Tokyo. And again, color coded. So you can follow, if you like Tokyo, the name of the line that goes through, subway line that goes through Tokyo is Marunouchi. And it's red. And you can just follow these maps. Now these maps, I know side by side, trains and subway, it's pretty intimidating. But you can print these maps out on online in English, and you can use these to find your way around Tokyo and any other city in Japan. You can look them up online. Go. So in Japan, one of the things, one video I watched here on YouTube said, don't buy a Japan Rail Pass. Use the night bus. Well, yes and no. Okay. First of all, this is what a Japan Rail Pass looks like. Sort of. This is a bad copy, but basically, a Japan Rail Pass will let you ride any train, any boat, like ferry, any bus that is operated by JR for free. Well, for the cost of this. Now, you can buy these for 1 week or 2 weeks. 1 week is about, if you're converting 100 yen to the dollar, it's about $280 for a week. Now, one guy on YouTube says, oh, it's not worth it. Well, he's partially right. If you're just traveling around Tokyo, no, this is not worth it, because there's no way in a week you're going to spend $280 in train fare. It's not going to happen. So this, useless. It's not worth your time or money. But if you're going to do extensive traveling, like going to, say, Tokyo to Kyoto or to Hiroshima, the Japan Rail Pass is well worth the money, because at $280 to go from Tokyo to Kyoto is that price alone on the Shinkansen. So you're better off to buy the Japan Rail Pass if you're doing long distances, like Kyoto or Hiroshima, all the way down to Kyushu. Japan Rail Pass is well worth the money. If you're going to be staying in one city, like you're only going to Kyoto, or you're only going to Osaka, or you're only going to Tokyo, no, don't. He's right. The guy is right. Don't buy the Japan Rail Pass. It's a waste of money. But if you're going to travel a lot, I mean, from Tokyo to Kyoto, it's only 2.5 hours by Shinkansen, and it's a lot better than taking the night bus. The gentleman on the other video that I watched says, oh, take the night bus, it's so cheap. Well, he's right. It is cheap. It's very cheap, but it is also the bus ride from hell, which I will explain later in this video. Thanks. Now, what we're going to discuss now is, I said before that the gentleman said, take the night bus, it's much, much cheaper. And yeah, he's right, it is cheaper. You can go from Tokyo to the island of Shikoku, to Matsuyama. Matsuyama is across from Hiroshima. Now that's a long way. You can do it for about 8,000 yen. Now, if you're traveling by Shinkansen, it's going to cost you about 40,000, so about $400. But if you have the Japan Rail Pass, it's all for free. Now, the night bus is, yes, it's a very cheap way to travel. And the gentleman in the other video says, oh, just drink some wine and they'll put you to sleep and you can sleep all the way. Well, okay. This is a night bus. And they have these curtains, and they draw these curtains around, and you can't see anything at night. The seats are very, very narrow. And guess what? Do you know why these seats are colored? These seats are colored so they hide the dirt. Now, this is another night bus. Now, these ones have individual curtains, but the seats are really, really narrow. I took a night bus to Shikoku, from Tokyo to Shikoku. It took about 8 hours. You're exhausted by the time it is, like I said, it's the bus ride from hell. You'll probably get some guy beside you going, and you'll never get any sleep. I was totally exhausted when I got off the bus, and I swore I would never take a night bus again. The other thing, as I said before, the other gentleman said, well, drink a bottle of wine, you'll fall asleep. Well, unfortunately, if you got to use the loo, there is none on the bus. The bus, you have to wait until they come into a rest stop on the highway to use the restroom, because there are none on the bus. Now, the Shinkansen, on the other hand, look at those nice seats. Now, this is a little deceptive because this is the green car. The green car is like first class. Now, with this, it's quite nice. You have a nice wide seat. You usually have Wi-Fi, all sorts of amenities on that. The regular seats are more like this. It depends on the Shinkansen you're riding on. There's several different classes of train, but it's going to be faster than the bus. Now you can fly. Flying, you can get a discount airline for about $120 to $150 to fly from Tokyo to Osaka. Now, if you're only doing that once, yes, that is cheaper than the Shinkansen. It's also faster because it would only take about 45 minutes to fly from Tokyo to Osaka. But if you're going to be going many places, like I said, if you're going many places in Japan, the Shinkansen is well worth it. Plus, as I said before, night bus, no toilets. But on the Shinkansen, here, you got the nice toilet with the bidet and the heated seat and everything. You got a place to put your kid. This is for the regular passengers. Now, if you're traveling in the green car, the first class, this is the first class washroom on the Shinkansen, which is much nicer. So at least you can go to the washroom. But on the bus, you have to wait until you go to the rest stop. And those rest stops, some of the rest stops on the highway are not very, I'll just put it this way, not very nice. Some are pretty disgusting. Also, if you use the washroom at most of the train stations are pretty disgusting too. But some aren't bad. You will also find some train stations do not have toilet paper, but you will find people outside station handing out tissues. That's what most people use to wipe their hands or wipe their bottom. So, I would recommend, if you're going to do a lot of traveling in Japan and when you're here visiting, get the Japan Rail Pass. if you're going to stay in one city and not move around a lot, don't get the Japan Rail Pass because it's not worth it. It's way too expensive. You will not spend that much money on trains. Trains are fairly cheap. Also, don't forget, trains are very efficient. If most times the trains run on time. So especially the Shinkansen, if the train ticket says the train is leaving at 12 o'clock, at 1 second after 12 o'clock, bye-bye, that train is gone. So don't expect the train to linger around after its set time. After its set time, it is gone and you missed your train. So anyway, that's my advice for traveling in Japan. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section of this video. If you like this video and you found it useful, I'm doing these videos not to be stylish or fancy or anything. I'm doing these as helpful hints for someone who is visiting Japan. So if you found this useful, please subscribe to our video channel. We make one of these every week, or we have been making them every week. We want to do more, but we need subscriptions. So if people subscribe, we can make more videos. So please subscribe and give us a like, and thank you for watching this video.